I imagined it couldn't get any colder, and then, in January 2019, it did. A polar vortex reducing the Chicago winter chill to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
So that's that. Anyway, time to go and check on that water, I think.
Celsius.
I can't, but let's see if Lawrence does it.
There we go.
What's that in Celsius,
Okay.
Lawrence?
Okay.
Easy. Minus 45 degrees, or...
Oh, wow. I never experienced that temperature.
We are never going to experience that.
André,
What, Sarah?
what makes America so special?
So special?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a great question, Sarah. What makes America so special, so amazing, so unique is Americans.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I know it's a good
Yeah.
answer, Sarah, but I have a special video for us
Okay.
that may contradict everything I'm saying right now.
Let
The
me see.
title is Why Does America Feel So Bonkers?
Crazy?
Bonkers means crazy.
Okay.
Say hello to our friends.
Hi, guys.
Our friends, thank you so much for all the support.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. That said, Sarah, ask them for the most important thing.
Guys, leave a like, thumbs up.
And if they subscribe,
You make our day.
that's right. Link below. Let's go.
This month marks my 16th year living in the United States.
Wow,
in just that span of
16
time,
years
I've seen
already?
considerable change.
Yeah, Lawrence is actually an American citizen at this point.
Oh, congrats.
Change from major political upheaval to the nationwide acceptance of social media and briefly fidget spinners. In fact, often most evident on social media is the fact that America, the land of opportunity, is also the land of extremes. Extreme beliefs, extreme accomplishments, extreme weather, extreme wealth, extreme poverty, extreme
Right.
wildlife, extreme fame, extreme
got the
terrain,
point.
extremists, and extreme mists. In other words, during my long-held fascination with the United States, it has always struck me as a country with an eye for the dramatic. As you may have guessed,
You know what? I disagree with this.
Why?
I think Americans are more about showing off. You know, everything is big in America. Huge cars, huge portions.
Of course, they can. They have pride.
Yeah, they have a lot of pride
Yeah.
for America, for sure.
from that brief list just now, this is not always a criticism. In fact, as an 8-year-old boy who dreamed
Like,
of becoming a
Lawrence.
goonie,
That's
I
the
believed that
idea.
drama suited America just fine. I also thought America might suit me just fine, especially given my A-level in theatre studies. But after moving to the United States, I quickly learned that not all of America's dramatic qualities lie in the coastal town of Astoria. It was quite literally in the air. During that first December, my nostril hairs froze in the wake of winter. It was unlike any cold I'd ever experienced. Soon after, I invested in a face mask and a nasal trimmer.
Why is a nasal trim?
Dreamer,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I mean, I'm gonna make an assumption that maybe your nose hair froze.
Because they have extreme temperature.
Oh yeah, no, the
Yeah.
winter is crazy there, and I believe he still lives in Chicago. I'm not sure, but Chicago gets so damn cold.
I imagined it couldn't get any colder, and then, in January 2019, it did. A polar vortex reducing the Chicago winter chill to minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
So that's that. Anyway, time to go and check on that water, I think.
Celsius.
I can't, but let's see if Lawrence does it.
There we go.
What's that in Celsius,
Okay.
Lawrence?
Okay.
Easy. Minus 45 degrees, or...
Oh, wow. I never experienced that temperature.
We are never going to experience that.
18 degrees colder than the coldest temperature ever recorded in Britain. On top of that, last year I experienced a thunderstorm, a giant hailstorm, and a tornado warning all in the space of about 4 minutes.
What?
Probably go and find out. These things don't happen in the UK.
No, but this is crazy about
Yeah.
America. No, but for real, I mean, they have thunderstorms that are insane.
Insane, yeah.
The winter gets so cold. They have tornadoes. They have hurricanes. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man.
have to turn on the survivor mode.
Yeah. No, but in America, it depends. Certain states are quite more.
Yeah.
I say normal. You guys understand what I'm saying. For example, I believe California is a bit more normal. You know,
Okay.
even Texas, Arizona, I believe. Okay, they get kind of hot.
They have tornadoes, right?
Texas, yeah. California. I think all states have tornadoes, but certain regions like the Midwest, Texas, they are affected a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. But in certain regions in America or certain states, they are, living in hard mode. No,
Yes.
they are playing in the difficult maximum level.
So the question is, can the characteristics of a nation be influenced by something as simple as the weather? In some ways, I would say yes. But America's propensity for being a little extra surely isn't the result of one thing, but a perfect storm of many things. When a country has almost 350 million people, it's inevitable that disagreements will arise. And I can't help but feel that this is particularly true in a country where the two most popular news networks are known for their bias to opposing ideologies. Thankfully for me,
See, this is a thing, by the way, I believe this will be a sponsor, but this is a thing that does not happen here. In America, my friends, correct me if I'm wrong, but for example, from what I have been realizing, Fox News is in favor of the right-wing party.
Really?
Yeah, but CNN, in other end, is in favor of the left-wing.
They can do that?
I mean, I feel like, they do it in America. They have bias for... maybe they have channels, TV stations that are neutral. I don't know them because CNN and Fox News are huge.
So when you turn on the TV, you see a different perspective.
Oh yeah, in America, 100%. If you love the left, CNN is for you. If you love the right, Fox News is for you. Probably there is more channels on the right, more channels on the left. But my friends, this is fair to say, right? This is quite different here. I mean,
very different.
to be fair, you notice that certain TV stations here, they have some bias for certain parties. But it's not super evident.
Exactly,
is what we are trying to say.
country where the two most...
No, but this is interesting because I was thinking about this the other day. People, that's why sometimes Americans are so divided. I really believe that because, they feed you this narrative versus the other one. When in general, I feel like most people are very similar. They are not in this side or that side. They just want the best for
their country,
for their country, for their family, and that's it.
That disagreements will arise.
Sorry, just one more thing. And this happens to all of us with social media, If you follow a certain
figure,
a certain type of ideology, your algorithm will feed you more of that.
Oh, okay. I don't realize that.
No, but this is a huge problem.
Can't help but feel that this is particularly true in a country where the two most popular news networks are known for their bias to opposing ideologies. Thankfully for me, no such memo is lost in the pond thanks to today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is a news aggregator that compares pressing topics from across the political spectrum, and for every story gives you a visual breakdown of the political leaning, reliability, and ownership of...
Okay, this is a sponsor, but honestly, this is a really good idea.
The reporting outlets. So
because basically you can see if this article is neutral or not. It's interesting. Honestly, I know this is a sponsor, my friends, but
it's a good example.
It could be a really good application, actually.
The US Supreme Court allows a huge class action lawsuit to proceed against Meta. You can easily see how this is reported by news outlets on the left, right, and in the center. On this occasion, it seems that headline writers from across the spectrum broadly agree that this is a thing that happened, with most headlines remaining politically neutiral on the matter. That said, that won't stop me using Ground News' lovely feature called Blind Spot.
The different opinion.
Exactly.
Highlighting news stories that receive disproportionate coverage on one side of the spectrum. Better yet, Ground News lets me alternate seamlessly between British and American news, which makes it easier for me to divorce myself from, the agendas of UK tabloids. So, as the latest season of America premieres soon, I highly recommend using Ground News' US politics page to cut through political bias and arrive at your own conclusions. Head to ground.news/lost or scan my QR code to save 50% on the same limited access Vantage plan that I use. And don't miss their biggest sale of the year. The link is in my description. below.
But back to the polarization of America. If there's one thing that Americans can agree on, it's that Americans can no longer agree on anything.
We are at odds with one another over some very weird things. Just the other day, I heard somebody online arguing against the existence of Finland. And this is not just a slam against US education. Goodness knows it gets enough of that. It's an observation that in a country in which you are free to believe whatever you want, people very often will. And while certain American networks thrive on telling viewers what to think, social media seems to reinforce what users already believe. Indeed, I moved here at the dawn of the social media age, as platforms became...
No, I think so. Social media is a really, it's awful right now. I really believe that because you see a lot of people becoming very radical in both sides, because of social media.
Increasingly powered by algorithms, we Americans, like most of the world, came to devour what merely confirmed our bias. And in a country whose First Amendment lends itself strongly to difference of opinion, social media achieves something the printing press never could, keeping the nation polarized on a minute-by-minute basis. I can't help but feel that this is powered in part by the absolute monetization of everything everywhere all the time. When people, including myself, are rewarded for high engagement, boundaries will be pushed to the limit in order to eke out those extra dollars. So why not?
No, but okay. See, this honestly great video because the thing is, we do thumbnails for YouTube.
Yes.
And you guys tend to say that we clickbait a bit, but I think our content in general is very positive, right?
Yeah.
But on the thumbnails, we tend to make dramatic titles, because it's not that we want to do that. Is what works on YouTube for some reason. If you make a face that is like what happened, people click. If we are with happy faces, no one clicks. It's kind of crazy, but
it's just to capture your attention.
Yeah. Of course, we want to get more views to help the channel grow, right? But it's kind of sad that this
is the only way.
The only
that
way
work.
almost, that works. I would prefer to say today I'm reacting to Lawrence. That's it. You know what I mean? But it's not how you even YouTube
works,
gives you advice against that. It's kind of crazy.
Shovel out a good old Finland isn't real post if it results in 20,000 comments.
Heck, you could even argue that this very video, when compared to other Lost in the Pond content, is on the extreme side. So perhaps money is the deciding factor in all of this.
After all, the United States has greater wealth inequality than virtually all of the developed world. Indeed, 8 of the world's top 10 richest people are based in the US, and no, I'm not yet one of them. On the flip side, America's wealth has led to, transformative technological advancement, cinematic entertainment, or crucially, success at the Olympics. Furthermore, few people realize that the United States is routinely ranked among the most charitable nations on Earth.
And so yes, since I moved here, American extremity has done anything but return to the wilderness. Much like the actual wilderness. You know what you don't have to worry about in England? Animals that will eat you for breakfast.
From memory.
Okay, but to finish the last point, see, I wasn't aware of this, but Americans are the country, I believe, that gives the most money to charity.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I didn't know that either. But shows, how, because in certain countries we have more a left approach in the sense that socialism, I know this is a word that scares a lot of people in America. I don't like socialism, to be honest with you, my friends. But it's interesting to see that America, being relying more on freedom, self-responsibility, makes people so kind at the same time.
Exactly.
I
more
actually
aware what.
More aware of, and they choose what they want to do with the money.
Exactly.
They are not forced to do. I love that, my friend.
The only close call I had was that one time a cow ushered me out of Aunt Deborah's barn. America, on the other hand, has so many deadly species that the suspense films write themselves. Afraid of alligator swamps? Fine. Go live with the rattlesnakes instead. Not your cup of tea? And then why not run off into the woods while smeared in honey? Or reach under the toilet seat in your parents' basement?
And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lauren.
From those animals, which one are you afraid the most?
Snakes.
Snakes?
Yeah.
I may go with alligator. Alligator is worst.
These animals are rarely fatal to humans.
To which I say, you're right. In fact, perhaps the most extreme thing about such creatures is our irrational fear of them. Despite what you may have learned from the documentary Jaws, only 1 American on average dies from a shark attack each year. Fewer die still from black widow bites. The last such recorded fatality in America occurred the same year Thriller came out.
So that leads me to another question. Have we got it wrong? Is America not quite as extreme as it seems? Well, as somebody who's actively abstained from social media in recent months, I am reminded that there might be some validity to this argument.
Amid all of the Florida Man stories, it's easy to forget that America is...
Do you know what is the Florida Man?
No.
Yeah, there is the video. But my friends,
Is a stereotype?
it's kind of stereotype. But my friends, leave us a like. Put a number out there.
Just 2,000.
2,000 likes if I need to show Sarah some videos about Florida men.
Now I'm curious. I want to see.
They will decide.
filled with people who are just getting on. Once you remove the veil of anonymity afforded by the internet, offline Americans are sometimes even kind, perhaps reluctant to bring up politics, money, or Finland. Because at the end of the day, we're all passengers on the same planet, hurtling around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. And if you think about it, what could be more extreme than that? So, America's genuine problems notwithstanding, I do think the US sometimes feels more extreme than it is because that makes for fantastic ratings. Then again, those same passengers are also descended from
Kind of goes with what I was saying. The show off is good for America at the same time.
because that makes for fantastic ratings. Then again, those same passengers are also descended from other passengers, ones who came to North America at various points in history. The continent's extremely remote location, flanked either side by 2 vast oceans, is significant. It meant that early settlers to the New World faced hardship before they even got here. Heck, the Mayflower took a grueling 66 days to reach North America, often facing rough seas that could have left it lost in the pond. That was an intentional brand reference for those at the back. Indeed, once they arrived, about half died before the end of winter, unprepared for the very cold that would stiffen my nostril hairs 400 years later. Nonetheless, those that survived persisted, just as others who came here persisted. For me, this same grit is what put men on the moon, men who would bring back grit from the moon. It's a funny old world. And whether you believe the moon landing was real or you believe it was faked by Stanley Kubrick in a film studio, you have to admit that either sounds completely insane, like, we went to the moon, what?
All I'm saying is, I think extremeness, whether good, bad, or indifferent, might be woven into the fabric of American society, and it began 400 years ago. Actually, more like millions.
Because this is a country of enormous, one might even say extreme, natural wonder. Here, you'll find some of the world's largest rivers, lakes, and rock facades that were somehow formed with the heads of US presidents. Nature truly is amazing. So put down your phones and your computers and go out and see America.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, even if America is a bit crazy, to me,
It's a good crazy.
it's a good crazy. I like America. Sorry, but we are one day closer to
Yes,
visit
I'm
America.
so excited. Yeah.
Say goodbye to our friends.
Bye, guys.
Bye, our friends.